Hello, great people. Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Hey, if you're new to our channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, please subscribe and turn on the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content. And to every returning subscriber, I would like to say thank you for engaging with us. Yes. At Foundation for Family Affairs, we talk everything romance, intimacy, and family. If you haven't seen our last video, you need to see it. We talked about the 5 benefits of romance in marriage, and we got a lot of positive feedback. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you all. Today we've come your way with something really interesting. Yes, why do some people stop being romantic after marriage? Why do some people stop being romantic after marriage? Yeah, sometimes you hear people say, oh, he used to sweep me off my feet. He used to make me feel like my legs could not touch the floor, but I don't know what happened. All right, this is for people who used to be romantic, all right, and then suddenly something happened. They don't understand what could have happened, and there is no longer romance in that relationship. All right, for people who have never been, we have another video for you, but this is for people who used to be, and then they've lost the flame, they've lost the spark, and they want that back. You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something. I want to say that romance is like a skill. It's a skill you can acquire. It's like the skill of driving, of swimming. You can decide not to drive. But once you make up your mind that you can do it, that you want to do it, it's something that you can switch on, switch back off.
Correct.
All right, so basically, what we're looking at is why do some people stop? You know, before during their courtship, during their dating time, they were on it. They did it with laser focus. Then after wedding, it seems that they lost the skill. You didn't lose the skill. You just stopped. So why do some people stop?
Yes, we hear some people say, I don't know what happened to the candles and the roses and the chocolates.
And the date nights. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it. To capture this, we've used an acronym, ROTEC. ROTC. All right, and R is simply routine. Routine. Familiarity can be a romance killer. Yeah, we don't believe that. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
But then, you know, sometimes people get married and they just settle. Okay, they feel it's us, it's my girl, it's my dude. We understand each other, and then they settle. All right, they begin to take certain things for granted. Or they no longer think certain things are important. Okay, so familiarity, rather than being a romance killer, should boost things. You know, last week we were talking about how romance can grease your relationship. All right, it can be the fuel. It can bring that spark again. Yes, so no routine, please.
So when people begin to settle in, they be like, you know what? I don't have to impress her. She's going to be here anyway. I don't have to impress him. He's going to be here anyway. He's a loyal guy. It's going to always be here. I mean, he will not go off. He will not embarrass me. You know, so after where people begin to take each other for granted, they don't make those extra effort that they need to make again. Very important for you to stop that and begin to reflect, to say, when was the last time I actually put in an effort to put in a smile on my spouse's face? When was the last time I did something special for my husband, for my wife? When was the last time I prioritized my wife over any specific target? You know, because after a while, you just get used to that. Oh, can I just finish this task? Can I just finish this task? Because you know your spouse will always understand. All right? Don't take advantage of an understanding spouse. Don't take advantage of an understanding spouse, of a reasonable spouse. All right? The fact that your spouse is reasonable should not be a negative thing, should not be a what do you call it now? A disadvantage to your relationship. It should be an advantage. But unfortunately, when we settle in, it's the tendency is that we take advantage of that, because I mean, he's going to always be there, she's going to always be there, she will always forgive me anyway. And then you just keep doing something, and before you know what is happening, you go off tangents, and that can be very detrimental to your romance.
You know, sometimes when we talk about romance, okay, some people are like, oh, why do I have to be, drop that word, it's not for me, until they hear a definition. All right, so we have our own definition of romance, which is the little but consistent things you do on a daily basis in pursuit of your spouse's heart, attention, and happiness. Okay, they're very little but consistent things. So you see that when he says romance is a skill that can be learned, it can be learned indeed.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so we have right? When and it's simply overwhelming. When trying to please your spouse, excuse me, becomes overwhelming. All right, there are people sometimes, we've just said they're little but consistent things, but the fact is that somebody is putting in the effort. Okay, if I'm putting in the effort, I'm trying as much as possible to make my spouse happy, because we said it's for your spouse's happiness, attention, okay, and
to capture their heart,
capture his heart, right? So if I'm doing my best to do that, of course, it's just nice to expect that your spouse should reciprocate, okay? But it's even worse when I keep doing that, okay, and it's not even acknowledged, all right? So sometimes trying to please your spouse can be overwhelming. It's like, I do this, and then we like to say that people go through phases. So it is important to understand what phase of life is your spouse going through at the moment, okay? Probably when you were courting, you used to get flowers, and she would, Rick and be so excited. And right now you get flowers, and she no longer sees the point.
Yeah.
Why flowers? Or she just says a simple thank you. There's no excitement following it. So what that means is you might need to check what is that thing that would capture her heart at this time. Okay, am I doing that thing? All right. So it could be overwhelming when you think, I'm going out of my way to do this for her, and it's not capturing her heart. She's not showing any interest, any appreciation. Okay, it might just be that what you're doing at that point may not be the right thing. It's sad to say, but yes.
Now, the painful thing about this point is that sometimes the objects that you're expressing romance to your spouse might not even need to know what they need for that time. So
actually,
that's can be very painful because you don't even have any clues.
Well, can you expand on that? What do you mean?
So what that means is that sometimes you might say, I'm doing all this for you, but it's not really doing it for you. You're not as happy or as excited as you used to be. Yeah, I know, but so I'm asking now, what would you want me to do? And the lady is saying to you, to be honest with you, I really don't know, but I just know that this doesn't do it for me. I know what doesn't do it for me, but I don't know what does it for me. That can be very challenging for a guy that is trying to make the effort, or for a lady that is trying to make the effort, vice versa. So it's about you now leave it to the thing of the person using their instincts or even further observing. That's one point. The other side I like to speak to is when this person, your spouse, is making the effort and it's catching your eyes, you're finding it interesting, but because you have been wired in a way that always look out for the wrong thing. I will explain what I mean. Sometimes you might see a spouse trying to maybe prepare a dinner or do something special for their spouse, and the moment their spouse walks into the place, the first thing they taste the food, oh, it's so salty. Oh, why didn't you add this? Oh, why didn't you do this? It spoils the whole effort. You should recognize the effort of the guy. Sometimes parents do this. Oh, after the child has done all the work, is that thing the child forgot to do that the parent will focus on and begin to talk about. That deflates the motivation. That distorts or punctures the whole energy in the child, because the child is trying to impress, to be able to say, wow, you really did a good work around here. Make up your mind to look for the good thing. Sometimes as spouses will do the same.
Yes.
Your spouse goes above and beyond to do something. You are wondering, oh, why didn't you arrive late? Why did he arrive late? Why did he arrive at this time? Oh, you forgot my birthday. Oh, this. Come on. Appreciate the effort. So sometimes when people keep doing that, and no matter what they do, there are some people, no matter the gift you buy for them, they always complain about something, about the color, about they'll just find something. It's just how they are wired. They don't even realize, because it's their blind spot. So after a while, people get used to it and they stop buying stuff. Some people say, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. That's why some people just some people may even decide to just buy a gift card. You know what? Buy your own gifts kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes people stop being romantic because it has become overwhelming. It's no matter what you do, your spouse will always find something to pick on. So people throw in the towel sometimes. So if that is you, make up your mind to think about the positive thing. Remember that the effort is more important, and anything you celebrate, people repeat. Whatever you celebrate, people repeat, because that's what we call in HR, we call it intrinsic motivation. motivation from within. And one of these intrinsic motivation is praise, when people get appreciated. For example, staff of the week. That has nothing to do with tangible gifts, but it's something that makes people feel like, wow, I'm valued around here. All right, so make your spouse feel that their effort is worthwhile, and that will really, really change things for you.
Yeah, that just reminds me of a story of a lady who did not know how to cook, and her husband would always complain like, "Oh, okay, he could cook, so he would always cook, but at some point in their lives he got really busy, so he expected her to at least step up, make something, even if it's something he wasn't the fussy type, okay." And then one day she decided to really impress him, and she went on YouTube and tried to cook something. She said when she tasted it, she knew it was salty. But he came back, and the way he was eating it, at some point she tasted it again. I was like, are we eating the same thing? Sure. You know, he was really so excited. I was like, oh, this is nice. And then next time, that made her want to do better. Okay, she just carried on, you know, and things, it improved. And one day, while eating, he was like, wow, this is splendid. And she said, what's different? And then he told her, yes, the other times, yeah, a bit too salty, but I didn't want to complain because I didn't want you to stop.
Fantastic.
I wanted to encourage you. I wanted to keep up your motivation.
Fantastic.
So it just speaks to what you were saying.
Absolutely.
Really, really good.
Absolutely. Apt.
Yes. Okay. So we have T for you, and T is just task focused. All right. Sometimes we see this. Okay. Some women would say, he used to woo me. Okay, and he would chase me all over the place. But right now, I just feel like he's put up his rifle on the wall. Right. Like, okay, the hunt is over, and he's put it up. I've cut my thing. She's not an animal, but he's cut what he wanted. Okay. He's cut her heart, and then that's it. Right. So sometimes you hear this, and some people feel that way. It just speaks to the fact that sometimes some people, I don't want to say some men, because there are some women like that, okay, who are task focused, but more for men, okay, really task focused is like, I really need to hit this. Okay, I want to get married. I chase the woman down. Once I get her, that's done. That's something, one project done. On to the next task.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes you have that. So this is just to catch the attention of people like that. Maybe you did your best to woo her, you scrubbed up some more, okay, you looked good, and you know, it's different things just to catch this person's attention, and all of a sudden you stopped. Okay, it shouldn't be. Okay, when we're in marriage, I know it just connects to what we're saying earlier about routine. Okay, you just stop whatever you used to do. You used to look good, okay, even around the house, and then it's like, all of a sudden, anything, you know, just because it's us, we're not familiar with each other. Okay, that shouldn't be. So task focus, not bad, but we need to snap out of it and know when to pay attention to our spouses.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's sometimes we see wedding as an end. All right, wedding is a day. Marriage is a life. It's a lifetime.
Lifetime.
All right, that's why I say anybody can be wedded, but not everybody can stay married. All right, marriage is a journey. Wedding is a destination. All right, so you've not arrived at a destination. You're on a journey. What that means is that whatever you did up to that point of wedding, you need to do something different or even more in marriage, right? Because it's a journey. Journey means that you are traveling. All right, you stop somewhere, you learn a few things, you pick something there, you add to the journey, you drop something off, you keep going. All right, that's how we need to think about marriage. We need to think about it with a growth mindset. All right, with the growth mindset that I need to keep getting better. All right, because it's who you are that you bring into a relationship. So if you don't see it like that, you might see that now I'm married, check, move to the next thing. Some ladies too can be like that in the sense that they used to be very, like my wife said, scrub up. They used to really look so well, but now in marriage, you're tying wrapper all over the room. You're not looking so appealing to your spouse. All right, you look fine when you're going out, but when you come in, you look completely different. So the man who sees you more is seeing the ugly part of you. Every other person is seeing the beautiful part of you. No, make some efforts. All right. For some guys, you know, you just be like, check, on to the next project. No. No. Think about it as a journey to now say, okay, now what's the next thing? The next thing, okay, how can I help her to build that dream? That would be the next target for you. Okay, how can I help her to improve her self-esteem? That might be the next target. So don't take your target out of the house. Look for something else in her that you need to help her build. So that at the end of the day, your goal, remember the meaning of the word husband. The original meaning of the word husband is like is a farming word. That means you are grooming something to maximize its full potential. That's why during a wedding ceremony, they will ask, who gives this woman up to be married? Whoever is standing, whether the father is around or whoever is representing the father, will come and hand you over the wife to you. Meaning, I have done a very good job up to this point. That's why you were attracted to her in the first place. Now I'm handing her over to you to take it further. All right. So by the time you will be maybe like 10 years in marriage, 20 years in marriage, her people, your in-laws, should look at her and say, wow, this is good. That means that you're doing a good job. All right. And you can't achieve this kind of compliments, all right, if you just think, check, I'm moving to the next thing. No, you need to direct that your focus to her. And that's one of the key things you need to do as a man.
Brilliant. I like the way you've explained it. Okay. E we have for you is entitlement. Yes. When one spouse, one person feels entitled. And what do we mean? It's just simply this person has made the effort. Okay. And sometimes some people are just difficult to please, but then you get to that point where you think it's your right to have this done for you. It's your right as the spouse, yes, but then when you're overly emphatic on that, then it's a bit like, what's going on here? And then especially when the other person feels like you're not even making any effort.
Yes.
So it's all about you. Okay, it's all about you, and romance must be selfless. So we put that out on our Instagram post. Instagram Foundation for Family Affairs in the course of the week. You've got to be selfless. You've got to think about the interest of the other.
Fantastic.
Okay, so when it's all about you and you've not done this and you didn't do this well, and yes, I know you got this, but I would have preferred this. Hey, the other person is like, hello, and then stops being romantic. You know, we're talking about why people stop being romantic.
Yes. Sometimes the narrative that Hollywood paints is that the title of the role of being a romantic spouse, all right, is on the shoulders of the man. The man should wear the cap all the time. So it kind of puts the woman at the receiving end. You are the one that should receive breakfast in bed. You are the one that should take this. You are the one that, you know. So I'm not saying every woman play that script, all right. Some women step out of that script and create the kind of marriage that they want, where they also give to their spouse. I mean, social media is. We have all enough information on that when you go on social media. But what I'm trying to say here is that don't be that spouse who think it's my right to be for my spouse to show romance. So you maybe the way your relationship started, your spouse, your wife is always the one that is always remembering all the dates, always doing stuff, always planning stuff, and then you just be. Your job is just to show up and
receive
and just go on the holiday.
Yes.
You get to that point where unconsciously, what we call learned helplessness, you just program it in your head. It's her job to do this. Sometimes the other way around, where it's the man that does all the thing, does all the fantastic thing around the house, does all the wooing, all the romantic stuff that we talked about. But it just gets to that point where you just be like, it's not doing it. Well, if he's not doing it, I'm not going to do it. No, it's supposed to be, I think we've used this quote many times, and I think it's still applicable here. Marriage is brutal on selfish people. You must get to that point where you reach out, both of you reach out, and you're trying to outdo each other. That's a healthy competition. Where my wife is looking at, wow, I need to do this for him, I need to do, I'm thinking the same, that's how you create a heaven. A heaven, I meant to say, where people will feel like, wow, what is here? There's something about this energy in this place. All right. And people want to be around you because you guys are creating something that is making you glow. That's a powerful thing to have. Okay. You have to make the effort for it. So if that's you thinking is your right, you need to begin to make that switch in your psyche, because you can do it. All right. Decision determines destiny. When you make up the decision, the future will change. All right, that's what you have to start with today.
Awesome. Yes, and the last point we have for you, C, challenges.
Yes.
Oh yes, sometimes challenges hit people, and because they've not learned to manage this, they're not prepared for those challenges. It takes them by surprise.
Yes.
And, at that point, it takes over a life of its own. It's like that's all we have focused on. We have to deal with it. Okay, it could be parenting, it could be work related, whatever. Okay, and that's what we did a video on managing transitions. You may want to say it, we'll put it up there. Okay, managing transitions. Of course, there are transitions that people are prepared for, but there are some we call event transition. They just happen. Okay, an example would be like, you're getting married, the expectation is that you will have children, and then suddenly you're beginning to be told you have challenges. Okay, so as much as you might be prepared for some transitions, some things take you unaware. They just catch you, and you're not prepared for them. But then they mustn't take the focus off your spouse. Your spouse remains priority.
Fantastic.
As we go through that, we go through it together. Okay, I still know that I have to look out for the interests of my spouse, because sometimes one person gets so overwhelmed and doesn't feel supported. That's another part of it. Okay, but as we go through all of this, we still need to look out for each other's. It was so beautiful to hear a man speaking. They had been through a season, okay, and it was really rough. And he was speaking and saying, at some point he had to catch himself and ask himself, how is my wife feeling? Okay, it was something that happened financially, and he put a lot of weight on her. Okay, but he had to ask himself, how is she feeling? She's taking on more, but how is she getting on with that? I just didn't want to leave her in the dark, like she was maybe feeling like having conversations with herself, like, oh, this is a bit too much. Okay, so even as you go through, check on each other.
Fantastic.
Find out how you're doing.
Fantastic.
How the other is doing.
Wow,
yes.
That's beautifully articulated. Yeah, what I'd like to add to that is that we all react differently in challenging situations. Sometimes some people withdraw and they just want to suck and want to understand, want to gain clarity about the situation and the next step. And in the process, like she said, you might forget your spouse, how is your spouse feeling? Because right now you're focusing on your own pain and how to solve it. All right, some people lash out at the people close in their own space when they are under stress. They just speak rashly. They just feel, well, I can't go through this. Some of those things are the things that impact on the romance that we're talking about. It's not the challenge in itself, it's how we're handling the challenges based on our own strength. So what we like to recommend to any one of you who are watching this and those who will be watching this later is to say this: make a decision ahead of time. No matter what challenges that we go through, all right, we will make sure that we do A, B, and C. So for example, no matter what happens, we must make sure we must pray together. No matter what happens, we must make sure that we have date nights. No matter what happens, we must make sure that we get to talk 2 hours every day. No matter what happens, make up your mind to have some what we call some pillars in your relationship that will help you stay connected all through. Otherwise, the challenges and the vicissitudes of life are going to shift you, all right? They keep shifting. But have something. The reason why you have a house that is standing is because no matter the windy stuff, there are pillars that have been put in place that no matter what happens, this must stay the same. That's what makes a house stand, okay? Have those kind of decisions, make those kind of decisions prior to whatever comes, and say no matter what happens, for example, we never turn on each other. No matter what happens, I will always love you. No matter what happens, we're going to always make our time to connect. We will always travel. Just make up your mind about those things and they will keep you anchored. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a pleasure doing this.
Yes.
All right. So this is the point where we invite you again. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, now is the time. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content. We hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please leave some comment. Let's hear from you. Okay, and then if you have points you think we've not touched on, let's hear them.
Let's keep the conversation going.
It will be for the benefit of more people.
Yeah.
All right. And then if you think this has really been impactful, it's blessed you, you've got value, feel free to share with other people.
Yes.
Okay, a lot more marriages might need the message.
Help us impact more people. All right, let's take it to 1,000, 2,000. Let's get it out there. Okay, let's impact more people, because the benefit of the reason why we're doing this is to impact marriages. So help us do that as well.
Yes. Until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.